In this video, I'm going to quickly cover where to stay in Singapore, activities to do, where to eat, and tips on where to get cash, cellular data, and transportation. Singapore is an island country and city-state located below Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam, and above Indonesia. If we zoom in on Google Maps, if you arrive by air into Singapore, you arrive at Singapore Changi Airport. It is an airport that is annually rated as the top 5 airports in the world. What does this mean? Once you arrive, you will have plenty of washrooms to freshen up, places to charge up your electronic devices, diverse and high quality food and drink options, and a giant mall complex connected to the airport called the Jewel. We'll talk more about the Jewel later. There's 2 ways you can get to the city from the airport. You can go by car or take the train. The public train in Singapore, aka the MRT, is very efficient and well connected to the city, and it's very cost friendly. However, if it's your first time in Singapore and you want to avoid carrying luggage and doing public transport, I recommend going by car. You can arrange airport transfer by using the website Klook and book car transportation 1 day before you arrive in Singapore, or even earlier than that. The minimum is at least 1 day before your flight. Usually there will be a driver that will wait for you at the airport up to 1 or 2 hours after the flight arrival time. Klook is pretty reliable and operates in multiple countries in Southeast Asia. The airport is about a 15-minute drive to downtown Singapore and Marina Bay area. For Singapore, I would say 3 to 4 days is sufficient. It's a mainly English-speaking country, so it'll be easy for you to navigate and interact with the locals. When you Google best areas to stay, a lot of websites will list up to 5 or 6 areas, but I would say there's only 2 main areas I would recommend, being the first being Marina Bay, and the second is downtown / the Quays. Let's first cover the areas that you shouldn't stay. There are areas that may be listed on some websites, but I do not recommend them. First is Orchard Street. Orchard Street is known for its commercial shopping. It's a street lined by several mall complexes, including Ion Orchard Mall, Yian Mall, Orchard Central, Paragon Shopping Center, the Center Point. But I would not recommend staying in this area because it's pretty far from main iconic attractions of Singapore. You can come check out this area by taking the train. If you are limited on time in Singapore, you can skip this area. There's nothing unique to see here. I would say there were better shopping malls in Japan and Thailand. Second is Little India. I would not recommend staying in Little India either for similar reasons I noted before. It's far from iconic attractions of Singapore. This area has small thrift stores, jewelry shops, wet markets, and Middle Eastern oriented stores. If you are limited on time in Singapore, you can skip this area as well. Third is Sentosa Island. Sentosa Island has beaches, theme parks such as Universal Studios, a water park, and the Sea Aquarium. However, it is quite excluded versus the rest of Singapore and far away from the iconic attractions in Marina Bay as well as local hawker centers. Sentosa Island is easily reachable by the public train MRT system, so you can just take a day trip out to Sentosa. You don't need to stay here. Okay, let's cover the areas that I do recommend for you to stay. Marina Bay area. In blue, we have Marina Bay. Marina Bay is the most expensive area to stay in. It's close to several of the main and iconic attractions of Singapore, and the area is modern and clean. It gives you direct access within a 10-minute walk to Gardens by the Bay, the shops at Marina Bay, the Spectra light show, the Waterfront Promenade, and Merlion Park. The first and most iconic hotel in Singapore is Marina Bay Sands. The cheapest suite when I was there was $700 USD. This is way out of my budget, but if you can find, if there's for some reason a deal or promotion where you can get a room for less than 300 or something that you can afford, then this Marina Bay Sands is the way to go. It will give you a premium experience with exclusive access to the iconic infinity pool you commonly see in YouTube videos or Google images. The infinity pool is only accessible to guests at the hotel. So if you're not staying at the hotel, you won't be able to access the infinity pool, even if you offer or want to pay to use it. The second iconic hotel in this area is the Fullerton Hotel. This hotel will give you beautiful views and a very romantic experience as well. Fullerton is not cheap either, with suites starting at $600 USD when I was there. Both hotels are well kept, modern, and are top in terms of luxury hotel options in Singapore. Let's move on to our second area, downtown and the Quays, which includes Boat Quay and Clarke Quay. In red, we have downtown and the Quays. I would say the Quays or downtown is the best area to stay. It is a balance of affordability, and aside from Marina Bay itself, it is the area closest to the main attractions. Just a 15 to 20-minute walk will get you to the Waterfront Promenade and Gardens by the Bay. It is also between Marina Bay and Chinatown, so it gives you close access to both areas to explore. The main reason I recommend for staying here in the Quays or downtown is convenience and accessibility. This area has available diverse food options for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night up to 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. and has some of the best hawker centers in Singapore. My favorites being Market Street Hawker Center, Lim Hawker Center, and Lau Pa Sat Hawker Center, and other small restaurants which have cheap but amazing quality food options for $3 USD to $6 USD, in contrast to Marina Bay area. Marina Bay has less options, and options there are more fine dining and expensive. Of the three, I would recommend Boat Quay over Clarke Quay and over downtown. Boat Quay will give you quick access to banks to get cash, Singtel store to get your cellular data, and access to the Singapore public train MRT system. It also has pleasant walking areas along the water. If you guys are curious where I stayed at KINN Capsule Hotel in Boat Quay. It was $68 Singaporean/Canadian a night, which translates roughly to $50 USD for a shared dorm room. And their shared dorm room was pretty nice. It was the most affordable and decent accommodation I could find in Singapore. It was clean, had 4 floors with showers and bathrooms on floors 2, 3, and 4, so you never had to wait. There was always, if one floor was occupied, you can always go to another floor. It had free coffee and water on the 2nd and 4th floor with microwaves. It was an excellent location, 20 minutes walking distance to Marina Bay and Gardens by the Bay, 10 minutes walk to Chinatown, and several hawker centers nearby, a 5-minute walk to Market Street Hawker and Lim Hawker Center, and a 6-minute walk to the train subway MRT system. The hostel also had free laundry service. In green, we have Chinatown. The third area is Chinatown. It's a little bit further away from the main attractions in Singapore, about a 20-minute to 25 minutes walk to Marina Bay. The accommodations, hotels, and hostels in this area is cheaper than the Quays and Marina Bay. Chinatown has the iconic Buddha Tooth Relics Temple, which is very beautiful to visit at night, and there's several hawker centers in Chinatown, including Chinatown Complex Food Center, Maxwell Food Center, Amoy Street Food Center, as well as close access to Lau Pa Sat Hawker Center. This area is more inner city and has less ambience compared to Marina Bay and the Quays, and that's reflected in the prices of the accommodations, as Chinatown tends to have cheaper hotels and hostels. The first activity I would recommend is Gardens by the Bay, which also contains Supertree Grove and OCBC Skyway. There's free music and a Supertree light show at 7:45 p.m. every night. The park itself is free, but certain areas and activities cost more money. If I had to choose 2 activities within the park that costed additional pay to use, I'd recommend first OCBC Skyway, which costs $10 Singaporean to walk across the bridge, and then second is the Cloud Forest, which costs 20 Singaporean dollars to walk inside the dome. You can buy the tickets online, or you can find the ticket office located beside the Cloud Forest dome. I think the best time to come is at 5 p.m. You can catch the sunset at around 6:30 p.m. and watch the trees light up at 7:30 p.m. The Cloud Forest. It's 20 Singaporean dollars to enter. It's a beautiful feat of engineering, but for me, I felt underwhelmed, maybe because I was immersed in Rio natural rainforest and waterfalls of Bali, Indonesia, and in Brazil before I came to Singapore. So this place felt like 10% of a 10% simulation compared to the real thing. However, I would say it's still worth visiting, but I wouldn't say it's a must visit. I came because I ran out of things to do in Singapore. It's also note it's a one-way facility, so the exit is different from the entrance. Um, you cannot return to the original waterfall once you enter. So once you enter this dome, it's a one-way in and a one-way out. Spectra, a light and water show. It's a free music and light show at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. daily. It's located right in front of the shops at Marina Bay Mall and right outside of Gardens by the Bay. So it's an easy visit once you finish at Gardens by the Bay. The show has very good music choices, and the light visuals against the water results in a very inspiring show. My favorite segment is the Phoenix Rising. The next activity I recommend is walking around and exploring Marina Bay Waterfront Promenade. As you can see on the map, the top two red circles is me highlighting the Esplanade Bridge and the Helix Bridge, and at the bottom is the Marina Bay Waterfront Promenade. The top left red circle is Esplanade Bridge and Merlion Park. At Merlion Park, you can find the iconic Merlion statue where the head is a lion and the body of a fish, and it shoots out water from its mouth. It's conveniently located in the Marina Bay area, so as you make your loop through those three red circles, you can make a stop here. It's a nice and easy stop to visit while walking in the area. I recommend walking here at night as the lights are more pretty and it's too hot in the day. It's a nice promenade Malecon / boardwalk. It doesn't take up much time. It's a 30 to 45 minute to explore the entire SkyPark observation deck. This is connected to the Marina Bay Sands hotel. If you're a guest at Marina Bay Sands hotel, then you can have free access to the deck. Otherwise, when I went, it costed me 26 Singaporean dollars for the entrance fee. It's kind of expensive for what it is to walk around the deck. It takes about 10 minutes to explore the entire deck. If you do go, I recommend going near sunset at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. You can watch Supertree Grow's light show from the deck at 7:45 p.m. near the exit of the deck, and then you can also catch the Spectra light water show at 8 p.m. near the entrance of the deck. Sky Garden and CapitaSpring. CapitaSpring is a pretty awesome building that has two things. First, Market Street Hawker Center, my favorite hawker center in Singapore, that opens until around 3 p.m. and mainly serves lunch. Second, they have a free observation deck and Sky Garden Park on levels 17 to 19 and 51, and this opens until 7 p.m. It's free access to the Sky Garden Park. The S.E.A. Aquarium located in Sentosa Island. When I went, it costed me 41 Singaporean dollars for the entrance ticket. It's a very good experience. It had very diverse marine life, a variety of fishes, eels, jellyfishes, rays, from stingrays to manta rays, and a variety of sharks. It had different viewing and immersive views, from tunnels to panoramic views of the aquarium. It was easy to get here just using the train MRT system. So you get to Vivo City first, and then at the very top floor of the Vivo City Mall, you would use Sentosa Express from the Vivo Center Mall, and transportation costed a total of $3 Singaporean dollars. HSBC Rain Vortex at the Jewel Changi Airport. Before you leave Singapore, it's worth walking around the Jewel mall connected to the Singapore Changi Airport. You can check out the iconic inside waterfall called the HSBC Rain Vortex, which is also part of the Shiseido Forest Valley. The HSBC Rain Vortex is located in the Jewel Mall in the middle. The Rain Vortex has a light water music show every day at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. The Jewel Mall itself is an amazing facility. There's so many dining options from the top floor all the way to the basement. I have an entire grocery store down there, a food court, similar to kind of like a hawker center, and a bakery. Market Street Hawker. This is my favorite hawker center in Singapore for the amazing variety of options that you can pick here, as well as the prices of meals ranging between 3 to 6 Singaporean dollars. There's food stalls on the second and the third floor, so you have an abundant amount of options and stalls to pick from. It's in an amazing location between Gardens by the Bay and Clarke Quay, and just on the outside of Chinatown. It's in the working downtown district of Singapore, and out of the 7 or 8 hawker centers I visited, I find that this one had the best atmosphere, infrastructure, and seating out of them. So this one has fans, washrooms, return tray stations, spacious and good lighting, while preserving the prices and the food quality of a hawker center. Lau Pa Sat. This is my second favorite hawker center in Singapore. It's located at the center of downtown and near the attractions of Gardens by the Bay area, making it a very convenient and accessible location. The stalls inside this hawker center opens mainly for lunch and dinner. Most of the stalls are open between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then for dinner from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. After 6 p.m., the satay grill stalls open outside the hawker center and opens till midnight, but serves mainly barbecue meat skewers. The third hawker center I want to give a shout out to is Lim Hawker Center. So compared to the other ones, this one opens early, so you can come here for breakfast. So it opens up at 8 a.m., serves lunch, and then up until around 3 p.m. The ambience of the hawker center is not much, but it's worth coming here to try the hangi chicken curry noodles if you are nearby. Lucky Cafe. This place is for late nights if you're staying in the Quay area. It's reliable and a cheap place to get food at night up till 1 a.m. It's useful to have cellular data when you're in a new country, so you can use Google Maps for navigation and exploring, and Google Translator to communicate with people. You can get your cellular data and SIM card from Singtel. Singtel is one of the major telecom networks in Singapore. When I was there, I paid 20 Singaporean dollars to get the SIM card to put into my iPhone with 3 gigabytes of data. You will also need cash when you're in Singapore, especially if you're planning to eat and try at hawker centers, because hawker centers will take cash only. You can withdraw your cash from an ATM machine. I would recommend doing it in a mall, because those are generally safe locations. The bank ATMs that I've withdrew from was UOB and DBS, and these had pretty fair exchange rates. You can compare it yourself using use your phone to check out the exchange rate first, and then see if it's comparable to the ATM. If it's fair, then I recommend withdrawing cash. Lastly is transportation. There's no Uber in Singapore. However, Singapore is a pretty small city and it has a pretty good public train MRT system. So when I was there, I found myself just walking and using the public train to get to the places I wanted. If you do want to use car, there are taxis, and you can also book transportation service through Klook, as I mentioned earlier in the video. However, I didn't feel like I needed to do any of these things. Just walking and using the public transportation was sufficient in my experience. The MRT system operates very similarly to the train system you would find in Japan or Thailand. It operates on a card tap basis, and you would refill the card based on how much you use the public train. So this brings me to the end of the video. I hope you guys found this video useful, and I wish you guys an enjoyable stay in Singapore. I assume you're watching this video because you're planning to visit there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.